Hello everyone and welcome to the Huon Valley on a bit of a wet and dreary day. I'm out here with Lily and we're just on a little side road to Denison Road, kind of out the back of Lonnavale. And we're going to be doing two waterfalls today. First up Robbies Falls, second up Compton Falls, both on the Falls Rivulet. Now these are falls I've been to before, maybe 4 years ago, and they're kind of both pretty short walks. Robbies Falls has a bit of a track into it, which I didn't know actually existed last time. So the main goal today is to explore this track. You can see the little markings there. There was also a marking back on Denison Road pointing down here, just a little sign on a tree, although you probably need a GPS because it'd be very easy to miss. We're then hiking this track. It's about 1.5 kilometres each way, just estimating based on the map. So maybe half hour each way. Hopefully it's a nicely marked track the whole way. I think it should be good because you go through like the rainforest along the creek. And Robbies Falls, really nice little waterfall. Same with Compton Falls. Let's check it out. So almost straight away you've come out down to the creek, flowing really nicely. I think it rained last night, which is good sign to the waterfall. It's a pretty reliable form of this one. The creek flows really nicely all year round, so you can do both of these falls all year, and Robbies Falls has quite a nice pool below it, so you could even have a swim there in summer. Like these two and probably Huon Falls, which you could do as a nice summer day trip, are like three of the best ones around southern Tassie for like year-round waterfall bagging. But obviously now in the winter, in mid-July, is prime time to see them at their best. Really pleasantly surprised so far by the fact that I kind of expected a bit of a taped out pad, but there's actually appreciable track work that's gone into this. I believe Robbies Falls was named after, I think, like someone who was like logging around here maybe 20 years ago who found and originally made the track into this waterfall. So it makes sense that timber workers would know how to clear off some trees and build a decent track, because it's really decent. It's similar kind of to like Huon Falls, in that it's still a rough bush track, but very clearly marked. All the big logs that are fallen are cut through with footholds and stuff, and it's beautiful right alongside the creek in the rainforest. Little creek crossing along the way. Smoothly done. Not far off now. Coming up to the lower section of the falls. Also a really pretty waterfall in its own right. This is the lower section of Robbies Falls. Beautiful little stepped falls. Only a few metres high, but really pretty. And the main falls are on that cliff there, just around the corner. 50 metres upstream, not even. Well, after pretty much bang on half an hour, we've made it to Robbies Falls. 1.4k it took us in, or distance-wise, so like 3k's return. The signs at the start said 2 hours return. Definitely won't take you that long. We were going at a decent pace, but not rushing, and it's taken us half an hour. Beautiful little waterfall in like a nice bowl, flowing really well. I'll give you a look. Lower fall just down there. Thoughts?
It's really pretty.
Yeah.
And it was a really nice walk. A little bit slippery, but like really enjoyable walk and great waterfall.
2 ticks, worth the effort. Right, Let's take some photos. So I've just turned away from the creek, which means we're pretty much back at the car now. So that ends part one of this little two-parter. Really, really nice waterfall, Robbies Falls. Definitely worth the effort. Beautiful hike along the creek and a surprisingly pretty easy track, to be honest. Like rough bush track, but very well marked. All the logs are sort of cut through to give you some footholds. And yeah, so 3K's return, an hour return of walking realistically. Give yourself an hour and a half, including photos. Now, head up the road, on to Compton Falls next. So after a surprisingly sketchy drive along the link road between Denison and Lonnavale roads, last time I see that road was fine, but now it's really washed out, which was kind of annoying. But we're here at the kind of unofficial car park for Compton Falls. You can see Lily going down there, which is sort of an old logging road that you follow to get down towards Compton Falls. The road keeps going straight, but eventually dead ends. So this way is the best way to go because it leads you close to the waterfall. There's a whole bunch of roads that go off in all different directions, but just follow your GPS and you get here easy enough. And then it's about 1 kilometre to the falls. Again, yeah, since I was last here, this all has been cleared off on the right. Pretty sure this is the right way. We'll find out. So this road, as I said, follows basically parallel to the actual road, and you just sort of keep following it along until you get to the closest point on the map to Compton Falls, which are now actually officially named on list maps, but still not in the online TAS maps, although hopefully in the future they're on there. But pretty easy, cruisy walking through here. Some really cool, like old growth forest above, around the other stuff that's been cleared. Really impressive big old trees. So we've come to kind of a bit of a cleared section to our right. We just explored down there a little bit and the trail sort of starts going away from the falls. Falls are pretty much that way. So we're going to investigate this way because I reckon this might be our best route towards the waterfall. There's a few tapes around on the trees. I'm not sure if they're trail markers. I think they're probably more likely marking the edge of the logging coup. But we're just going to follow our nose and hopefully pick up something of a route towards the waterfall. So we're essentially just following our nose here, following the GPS. My understanding was there's meant to be a bit of a taped route in here because someone told me there was, but I'm yet to be able to actually spot it. So we're just going straight towards the waterfall and then hopefully we'll find it on the way out. But it's not incredibly hard. It's just rainforest sort of walking. The biggest issue is it's quite late, so you don't want to be getting caught out in the dark. But it isn't far, only 100, 150 metres more to the waterfall. You can hear the creek very loudly, so we'll just keep working our way, following the GPS, and hopefully get there soon. So after a lot of hard yakka through some really wet forest, we've come to Compton Falls. Unfortunately, we might be in a bit of a pickle. 4 years ago when I last was here, that log was a nice access across the creek. Now, it looks really steep and dicey. The creek down there is flowing way too strong to try and get across. You can see the falls in there, but it's just too much of a risk to try and get down with this amount of water coming through. So unfortunately...
No, we're not giving up yet.
Livy hasn't given up. Well, we'll see how we go. So you can see the falls just pumping in there. What I'm going to do, I'm going to insert a photo from when I last came through. Now the other thing is I've heard rumours there's a track on the other side of the creek. If anyone knows anything about that, I'm all ears because that'd be a way better way to get in. But unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get a better view than this. At least you can see most of the falls through the trees. Not great on camera, but to the naked eye, it's not too bad. But yeah, tough mission. Unfortunately, a little bit of a bust today, this one. This is the aftermath. We've come back out on the track. Yeah. Well, You win some, you lose some. Unfortunately. Okay, what are we thinking?
It was really easy. I think that everyone should go and do it.
Yeah.
But make sure you don't wear hiking boots.
Yeah.
And shorts as well.
Yeah, the shorts have gone well for me. I mean, look.
No.
It's...
Jokes. I'm never trusting him to take me bush bashing again. I will be in charge of directions because he took me in the worst possible route known to mankind.
Yeah, so, well, right. First off, the falls are marked slightly further upstream of where they actually are. So we attacked the wrong place, and then a bit of toing and froing.
Guys.
Yeah, which wasn't ideal. So the falls are slightly below where they're marked on the maps. 1, 2...
Where you marked them on the maps?
No, where they're actually marked on the maps. The falls are on this map. 2, you can't really come here on this side of the river when the water's high anymore, which is a bit of a shame. I mean, you could try and risk it going across that log, but it looks pretty sketchy. I wasn't prepared to take the risk, to be honest. So you've got to come on the other side if there's a route on that side, or come when the water's a bit lower so you can actually go across the creek. But yeah, pretty hard, Jack. Like, it's rainforest bush bashing, so it's not like cutting grass and stuff. So it's not hard bush bashing, but it's really steep going down to the falls and really unstable wet ground. So you've got to take extreme care on your way down. Anyways, of the 2 falls, Compton is actually the better one, believe it or not, if you can get a good photo of it, but clearly only for experienced hikers. Robbies Falls is a pretty nice, moderate walk that basically anyone could do. So we had 1 successful mission, 1 less than successful mission, but Robbies in Compton Falls is a pretty cool day out if you can make it to both of them. I'll see you next time.